To start off this comparison, let's go ahead and load up redmondpie.com. We're going to do some page loading times. And as you can see here, the Samsung Galaxy S4 actually loads the body content first, but the iPhone 5S finishes its entire loading process first, but quite similar on both devices. Now let's load up some very content-heavy sites. We're going to go to the NewYorkTimes.com and tap that at the same time, as you can see there, and we'll see which loads first. And interestingly enough, on this one, the Samsung Galaxy S4 on the left loaded first, and it actually loaded the mobile view, which is of course what you want on a mobile device such as this, whereas the 5S didn't load the mobile view, and it actually loaded the desktop view and loads slower. Next up, we've got bbc.co.uk. Obviously the BBC's website, load that at the same time again, and the Samsung Galaxy S4, I'm going to give that to the S4 there, just a tad quicker than the 5S, but again, these are incredibly marginal differences. And then next we'll do the New Yorker. Go ahead and tap that at the same time. It is loading on both phones currently, and then the iPhone 5S is actually first to load the main body content, but again that pulled the mobile site on the 5S that time and the desktop site on the Galaxy S4, which is interesting. Okay, so let's go over to some benchmarks now, and we're going to go ahead and do SunSpider to start with. This measures your JavaScript performance within your browser. Go ahead and just press the start. I did press start on both devices at the same time, so it's interesting that the 5S is actually, I don't know if it's actually slower to load the starting process of the benchmark. I'm not sure if it was doing it in the background there, but it does seem like it was slower, so it will be interesting to see what the scores are here. And the iPhone 5S does actually finish quicker, and it scores a time of 480 milliseconds. The score with the lowest score is better here, and the Samsung Galaxy S4 scores 976 milliseconds. So it's quite a substantial win by the iPhone 5S. Next up we have Octane. This is a benchmark by Google, I believe, actually, or they had some kind of hand in the development. This again measures JavaScript performance on your website. JavaScript is of course extreme importance nowadays on the web thanks to HTML5, and we'll be benchmarking that in a little while as well. I'm going to go ahead and skip over to the results here, and as you can see, the iPhone 5S on the right scored 5,330, and the Samsung Galaxy S4 2,440, so the iPhone 5 almost doubles the Samsung Galaxy S4's performance in this benchmark. And finally we're going to finish with HTML5 benchmark.com. This is called Impact Benchmark, and it essentially just measures the HTML5's performance of your web browser and your device, and it's probably one of the funner benchmarks I've ever seen in my life. It basically plays out a game in front of you, and it kind of gives you a frames a second and all of that kind of good stuff, and it's all done or facilitated via HTML5, so that's of course why it's measuring it. And as you can see, the iPhone 5 is just tearing through this benchmark. Almost no lag. I actually compared this with my my browser running Chrome, and it actually looked very similar to the frames a second and stuff, but the S4 on the left is almost just dying on this. I'm actually going to go ahead and skip most of this, because on the S4 it actually takes nearly 7 minutes, which is obviously not a good thing. And as you can see, the iPhone 5S scores 2,875 and the S4 2,266, so there's definitely an advantage to the 5S.